Go. It took me a minute to go live with the spinny. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is May the 15th, which means I need to send my brother a text to wish him a happy birthday. And here we are, right? Okay, true confessions. And because this is not a linear process, and I really want everybody to understand that. The small steps, big success. I made progress here yesterday. You can see it's looking better if you've been here all along. This was a pile of papers that I pulled out of there. I've not moved forward with it, and that was the plan. So what I'm going to tell you is that I have a co-working session this morning, a little bit after we're done here, and that is going to be my priority for the co-working session. Also, I'm looking at this right now, and these, if you were here yesterday, this is a recipe box for my mother-in-law. These are cookbooks that she had, and she didn't have a lot of cookbooks. She only had those couple. So I want to go through those recipes, see if I can find any of her family recipes in there, and just get them all printed off because only one of us gets to keep this. And I think there will be other people who would like to have the recipes. So that's kind of where things are. It kind of got stuck yesterday and I didn't get to move along. And it's been a funky week. And next week will hopefully be better. I do have one early doctor's appointment next week, and I have decided I don't like early doctor's appointments. So I won't be having them much anymore unless I have to be fasting. So anyway, that's kind of the situation for that. And then I am also in this situation where, like I said, a lot of clutter, and I talked about this yesterday, comes from not having unmade decisions. This was a wallet that I purchased from Amazon. It doesn't suit my purposes. I don't like the color of it. And unfortunately, I did not send it back within the window. So I am going to probably put something out on Facebook, uh, either with local peeps first on my friend list if they want it. There's also a buy nothing group that, and I can always donate it. If nobody wants it, I can always donate it, and somebody out there somewhere will want it eventually. So it's brand new. I could put it on the marketplace, but sometimes that's just really not worth the time, especially if you're going to only sell it for like $10 or something. It's not worth my time to go through the hassles of people asking a million questions and then deciding they don't want it. So, um, where a lot of times if you put something out there for free, people will just say, I'll take it. And then it can be their unmade decision instead of mine. That's the way I look at that. So, as we do every day, we're going to jump in. We're going to go ahead and do our 15 minutes. I'm going to share my screen so that we can do that, and you can see the timer and you can see that we're going to work on that. Um, so there's the timer, and we're going to get started. And if somebody pops in and they have a question, whether you're live or whether you're on the replay, if you have a question, please put it in the chat. Remember to like and subscribe. That's always important. And if you turn on, click the little bell so you get the notifications, then you'll know when I go live. I'm planning to do this for the rest of this month, every weekday. If people want me to do a weekend session, I might be able to swing that. But I need to hear that from you guys. If I don't hear it from you guys, we're not going to be doing it. So anyway, let's get started. There we go. All right. So for me today, one of the things that happened, and I'm going to have to step off screen to do it. My husband and I also have a puzzling video. We have a puzzling video channel. These came into my office. They need to go back out of my office before they find their final resting place. And I'm going to do that real quick. I will talk to you about that. Okay. I know we're not supposed to have dead air. Oh, God forbid we have dead air. And then sometimes it's about putting things away. And that's this is my travel backpack. I love this thing. It's heavy. It's kind of heavy, but I love it because I can either roll it if I want to do that, or if I want to move quickly, I have straps that I can wear it. And these straps like tuck in here. So that's always great. And it expands or contracts as I need it to. It's also heavy because I carry a lot of stuff in there. So, oh goodness. So getting that out of the way. That's part of decluttering is a lot of clutter is also you just haven't put it away. Then there's things like this. This set of rope lights, right? Um, I love these because I can do whatever I want with them. Like I can make them a certain color, I can change the color, there can be a pattern, whatever I want to do. And I love these kind of lights anyway. And I saw these lit up. They're really, really fun and really cool. My goal is to replace the border up here and have these guys so that when I'm working, if I want to do something fun, I can do it and it'll be all around my office. So they are currently sitting here waiting so that they can go up there. Um, they're going to sit until we clear out this room for painting. This is yet another piece of recording equipment, and that's going to stay. I've kind of started making a pile until we have a set place for that. These are little stickers. And this is part of my coaching business. I I coach based on the DISC model, and we have the driven, the inspired, the supportive, and the cautious types. And I love these stickers. They remind me of why people act the way they do sometimes. And so, but they belong in my desk, sitting over here. This is one of those interesting things, I think. This is a portable keyboard. This goes with I have a lovely iPad Air that I use for travel, but I don't use this all the time. So it's never really had a home, so it just kind of floats, but there is room in this table, in this drawer for that. So that's where that's going to go from now on. This is just a shelf, and I use the rest of the shelf elsewhere. And it's a good shelf, but what am I going to do with it? I'm not really sure. So it has sat here for a very long time. Doesn't really have a home either. But I can give it one down on my bookshelf because there's a spot for it. Ooh, that's going to go there for now. I don't think I need to keep this. This is the directions to put it together. It's already put together. So that's going in recycle. Then I have these guys, these command hooks, and they are actually for mounting the rope lights. So I'm going to keep these two together, which will make sense. All right, now this might take, I don't know. Well, I'll probably get this done before we're done. I was working with a feng shui practitioner for a while, paid a lot of money actually for her course, and to be coached by her. And what I found was that, and I'm sure she perceives it differently, and that's fine. That's, life is all about those kind of things. We all perceive things differently. I really was not happy with what we were doing. I wanted my house to be in a better place, to be It's hard to say, but let's just put it this way. One of the things in feng shui they talk about a lot is something called cures, and where things aren't the way they should be in your house, or your house isn't set up properly. And there were certain things she wanted me to do with artwork, things like this, which I think is the most boring thing in the whole wide world. Okay. And not that everything has to be super exciting, but I'm like, I don't want a random picture of a landscape. And she's like, well, this is to bring peace and blah 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 and this and blah 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 that into your home. And it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, I got to the point where I was like, it feels like my home isn't even my home anymore. It's what she wants, not what I want. Because everything I would bring, she's like, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Um, and we have very different tastes on top of it. Uh, so I know she's worked out beautifully for some people. She was not my kind of practitioner. So uh, when we parted ways, uh, it I was exhausted, so I just put everything aside. That I took the things off my walls that I didn't like and I didn't want anymore. But I didn't um I didn't put them away. And that's a big part of it. That's been a big part of a lot of things like feng shui and stuff like that. I've never made it through the declutter phase. And even with the person I learned the 15-minute rule and things like that from, it sadly you sometimes find out people aren't who you think they are, or they aren't who they portray they are. And it's it's a rough thing. And especially people who talk about authenticity and then you find out they're not authentic. That's so hard. Um, and it's it happens a lot. It happens more than you know, but I kind of refuse to. It's like, okay, you're not my person anymore, but I'm not going to run anybody down for it. That's why I'm not going to name names. They weren't right for me, but I know they're right for other people. So that's that's a good thing to know, I think, is that even though these people weren't necessarily right for me, for example, I found out this person who was teaching us how to take care of our homes had somebody that came in and cleaned for her, you know? And if she had said that, I'd have been okay with it because I think there's a lot of people out there who could probably afford to have somebody clean for them, but they're embarrassed because of the state of their house. And gosh, I would love that. I kind of aspire to that. Have somebody come clean my house, but there's a lot of clutter right now. And I've had times in my life where there's not a lot of clutter, and I've had times where there is a lot of clutter. And I can tell you that the uncluttered times are better. You just feel like you can breathe more and that there's more freedom in your life. And that is so awesome. That is a wonderful way to be and to feel. And yes, I'm saving all of these because 8x10 photo frames, I know there's a bunch I can use. And I may use them in my office when I'm done. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead. And I know it feels like I'm just putting them somewhere else, but I have more of these somewhere and I have to remember where they are. So until then, there is a little shelf again down here on the where I put the shelf. I'm gonna put these, and then they will be accessible when I find where that goes. All right. So, oh, headphones. These are some gaming type headphones, and that's another thing I either need to sell or get rid of or figure out because I started using headphones for a long time, and what I found out was I started to lose my hair. And so that was not good. But okay. And for those of you who know or don't know me very well, I like some of the woo-woo stuff and I like looking at it. Doesn't mean I live my life completely by it, but there are things that I find extremely interesting from it. And so those are some personal things. Oh my goodness, these are my old resumes. Which the thing is, sometimes you need that information, so I always keep them because they give me access to things of my past, dates and things in my past of when I worked where and when I did what and things like that. So I do keep those things around so that I can access that information. And yes, I could probably and probably should make it all digital at this point. So, but that's not going to happen today. So what's going to happen today is they are going to go into, I have a bunch of binders, and they're going to go into those binders. And this is empty, so this gets to be put away where the other ones are, right here. Oh. And for whatever reason, this is a cookbook that I wrote to. I collected recipes and set up and had printed out for a youth organization. And it's a family and friends cookbook of this youth organization. So it's sentimental, but there's also some really good recipes in there. So I keep them around for that. And oh, what happened here? Somehow I stopped the time. Okay, I didn't realize that's what that yellow meant. Um, so I guess you're going to get a little extra today. I don't. So I've been live for more than 15 minutes, so we're going to go till the timer goes off. But somehow I must have hit the stop. I must have hit the space bar, and those kind of things happen. So that's another thing. Those kind of things happen. What is this? This is my husband's writing, so this isn't mine. I'm not sure what he did that for, so I'll have to ask him about that one. Ooh, you stand. Yeah, need you guys falling off the shelves. This is a book to go back on my bookshelf. Although I think I might read this one again. Haven't read it in a long time. And I do revisit some books on occasion. Yeah, my to do pile. And this just gets put away. My other cookbooks. And I know it may sound weird that my cookbooks are in my office and not in the kitchen, but I don't have a lot of room in my kitchen. It's a pretty small kitchen. So yeah. I don't put my cookbooks in there. I come in here and access them when I need them. Okay. Oh my, I forgot I had these. See, again, you forget you have things. I'll need to look at these. These are pictures of my son's wedding. Picture of my husband's entire family. More of my equipment stuff that goes in there. Old pictures of my granddaughter. Yeah, this is more stuff from my son's wedding. And then they also had a reception. They had what's called a micro wedding, and it was family only. So that family only was when I say it was a micro wedding, it was he has two brothers, she has one sister. It was their siblings. There's my boys didn't even have plus ones because my daughter-in-law at the time was too far pregnant. She wasn't allowed to travel. So so yeah, it was a very um it was a very small wedding. I think there were 10 of us there, maybe 12. But how goes sometimes they are two people who are very reserved, quite introverted, and they don't like being the center of attention. They sucked it up long enough to get married, and that was pretty much it. You know, we had a dinner, and it was just a very quiet, and mostly uneventful wedding. So we all spent the weekend in a nice big house together, and it really was lovely. So, all right, this is something I'm gonna have to go find the year that they got married and put some of this stuff in there. So I will be doing that because some of this follow up is going to have to be out of the office. So I will do that when I'm done. And so yeah, sometimes there needs to be a second session, which is fine. If you don't have the wherewithal to do it, don't do it. That's really what it's all about. So, but like I said, I have my co-working time coming up, and I'm gonna use that time to take care of that particular thing. I'm also gonna put this picture and this frame back on my walls because I miss it. I miss looking at it. It was one of the last years that I hosted Easter. Long story behind that one. I used to host Easter every year for my husband's family, and that kind of got away from me. So uh, I will put this back up when I find the spot that I want to put it in. And this is a later picture of his family, so I'll need to put that one in there. I think I actually have this picture somewhere else, but digitally. So here's what I'm going to do. These are things that still need to be taken care of. And sometimes we have to sit on these things and decide, am I going to keep this photo? Am I not going to keep this photo? One of the things that I do, like I used to be a pampered chef rep. That's this corner. That's something we'll have to get to at some point as well. And a lot of the things that are in here, for example, I'm gluten-free now for my health. And so here's the first several, like we've got deviled egg toast. The ranch chicken dip will be fine, but air fryer mozzarella sticks, I know that's not gluten-free. Truffle burgers, I know that's not gluten-free, and I don't like truffles. Yes, I'm one of those people. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, so anyway, but then we go pasta. We've got a casserole that's got flour in it. We've got there's one that's not. Then another one, chicken tetrazzini, that's got noodles. So yeah, there's not much in here that I either already don't know how to cook or it's not gluten free. So all right. So that's the 15 minutes plus a little. So anyway, if you've been around this long, remember, like I said, to like and subscribe. And we will continue with this tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow. All right. There we go.